Okay. So if you all can please turn on your cameras. Namaste, Ravinderji.
So I'm on my phone today, Didi.
Namaste.
So I won't be able to start recording. So when you
That's
start
fine, I did.
presentation, yes, okay.
All right, guys. All right, let me go ahead and share the. I hope you can see the presentation.
Yes.
All right. So what are chakras? Anybody have any idea what are chakras? What it does? So I'm going to give you a simple analogy of what are chakras. So chakras are, think about that your body is a river, or it's actually think about your body is a land. Okay, so let's keep this in our mind, and then I'm going to explain it more. So your body is the land. Okay, so chakra is a chakra Sanskrit meaning is spinning wheel, right? Chakras are connected to nadis, which are, so in our body there are 114 nadis. Some are there are Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna Nadi. Now, I am not going to talk more about nadis because there is somebody who is coming and going to talk about nadis in one of our sessions. But just to give you a idea, Ida is the left side, Pingala is the right
आपकी
side.
आवाज बिल्कुल चली गई थी बीच में.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
We
Okay.
can hear you all the time.
Yeah, even I can hear you all the time, Prachi.
Okay. All right. So please mute everybody so that I don't know why it went, maybe the internet connection. But so again, chakra is, I'm going to start again. Chakra is basically, the Sanskrit name is chakra. In English, it's basically a spinning wheel. Chakra is all connected to nadis. There are 114 nadis, basically 112 inside our body and 2 is above outside the body. All the nadis are it's divided into Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna nadi. Ida is the left side. If you see the picture here, so the left side, just think that this is your spine, right? If you draw a line right in the middle, that is your spinal cord. The left side is Ida, the right side is Pingla, and Sushumna Sushumna is the middle. The spinal cord
Yes.
is Sushumna, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what happens wherever these nadis meet, okay, as you see in a picture, they are kind of crisscrossing each other. So those are the energy points. If you as you go up, it represents the different colors, and wherever the Ida and Pingla meets and Sushumna meets, those are the 7 chakras. That's where the 7 chakras are formed. Now those are the important chakras in our body. They play a they play a vital role. So now think chakras as a river. So our body as a land, chakras as a river. Okay. Also understand that actually I want to say something else here. Wait. I want to put here river. Sorry, I got messed up there. So body as a land, 7 chakras as a think about, there's a land which is completely empty. There are different parts of different you can think about different cities as 7 different parts of the land, and there is a life force which is prana. So we get energy from the sun, and when we breathe in that energy, it energizes our chakras. So think about, in a simple analogy, if our body is a land, if the river has to touch or has to flow at every different seven parts of the land, only then that land will be completely green. So in the same way, our bodies are only energized by these chakras. Now energy flow from sun. So when the sun gives energy to us, when the prana flows in those seven chakras balanced, when these are balanced, that's how our body functions, and that's how you functions in your everyday life. So chakras are at your base of spine to the crown of the head. Chakras are very specific to each organs within the body, as well as it affects our emotional, psychological, and spiritual states. The first chakra is called a root chakra. The Sanskrit name of root chakra is called Muladhara chakra. The color of this chakra is red, and if you see, it is in the shape of petals. See, this is like a flower where there is a 4 petals. So it's a 4-petal chakra. Now, Muladhara, Mula means root. Okay, so it sits at the base of your spine. And Adhara means existence. It is, so let me tell you this. I'm gonna jump up so that you have a picture. Okay, so the bottom 3, if you see the red, orange, and yellow, just to give you a quick description, these are the bottom 3 chakras. Blue, indigo, and violet are the top 3 chakras. The heart chakra is the bridge. Okay, so the bottom 3 chakras are called survival chakras. Coming back to our root chakra, this is our first chakra to the survival chakra. What does that mean? That means the bottom 3 chakras talk about, for example, a person, for you to survive in this on the earth, you take care of the first thing that human does is takes care of the basic need, food, shelter. So what is the basic? That is the basic need. So for example, if you there is a Kumbhakaran. I don't know if do you guys all know about who Kumbhakaran was? Any idea?
Yes.
So what does Kumbhakaran did? He slept for 6 months, and then he will get up for, I think he slept most of his time. So he's more worried. He was only worried about sleeping and eating. So he was not worried about any work, about his, about making his life superior or anything. All he's worried about working on the basic needs, where you want to survive. So the root chakra is all about your survival needs. When the root chakra is balanced, so again, there are these chakras get imbalanced, they get overactive, they get underactive. When the root chakra is balanced, you're in, as a physical body, you won't feel pain in your legs, you won't feel pain in your hips. All the lower part is where your body will really affect. If you have a pain, that's where if you have a pain in your legs, in your hips, in your knees, that means your root chakra is imbalanced. Now, if it is balanced, you won't have those problems. Surya Namaskar in the yoga, Surya Namaskar is a pose for root chakra to really balance your root chakra. Again, and if it is imbalanced, emotionally, how does it affect? See, if it says physically, every chakra will affect you emotionally and physically. So emotionally, it affects you if you are always worried about your family, you're always worried about whether I'm able to fulfill the needs of the family. It doesn't give you, you're always worried about the security of the family. So those are the things where it really affects you if it's imbalanced. The second chakra is sacral chakra. The Sanskrit name of this chakra is Swadhisthana chakra. It is situated at the lower abdomen where your navel is. If you put two fingers below your navel, that's where the Swadhisthana chakra is. Swa means one's own and Adhisthana means abode or dwelling place. It is a house of our emotions, passions, and pleasure. Once you are balanced in your family life, once you have food to eat, once you're not worried about those basic needs, once you're fulfilled with your basic needs, then comes your emotions, passions, and pleasures. So this is where the sacral chakra is connected. It is also if you are a creative person, that's where so if you are a creative person, that means you have a balance in your sacral chakra. It also is a center of our sexual energies. It is a survival state. Basically, again, the lower three chakras are your survival chakras. It affects intimacy, including sex, fertility, and reproduction. So again, not jumping to a conclusion, but you can just get an idea. If you meet people, somebody is really trying for kids, and there is some fertility issues. That's when you know that their sacral chakra is imbalanced. If it is balanced, you will be content. You will feel good in your relationship. You will be very creative and you will have a deep intimacy. Again, if it is imbalanced, as I gave you the example, physically, it will affect you on the fertility. Emotionally, again, you will feel insecure. You won't feel content. You will always feel worry about, you'll always have troubles in your relationship. So the people who go through divorce and fights and all those things, that's how it affects you emotionally. That's where the sacral chakra is imbalanced. The color of this chakra is orange, and this is 6-petal flower. So to get balanced, just want to tell you what the 6-petal means. To get balanced, every petal has to open for that chakra to be balanced. Okay. So the third chakra is a solar plexus chakra. In Sanskrit, it's called Manipura chakra. Manipura means lustrous gem. Third chakra, it is at the mid torso, and you can see my picture, which I'm not sure, but I will show you once the presentation is over. It's right where your mid torso, it's right above the navel. It is housed for our personal energy center. So once you are taking care of your basic needs, once you are expressing good emotionally, and you're all satisfied with your family life, what happens next? You are in search of your you are in search of yourself. When you want to know about your passions, when you want to know who are you, when you try to answer that question, that is when you're trying to make your personality out. This is when your sacral solar plexus come in. I'm very shaky today. I don't know why, if it's a group energy or what. It's very difficult for me to talk. All right. So it is the chakra, it is the house for personal identity and power. The survival state again is who we are, self-esteem, willpower, and ability to achieve our goals. When all this chakra, when the sacral solar plexus is balanced, you are very self-confident. You can say true to yourself. There are many times that we want to do something, but we are not able to do it. We are not being true to ourselves. if this chakra is balanced, you will have that gut to be ability to say true and transform us with the tides of life easy. That means whenever you have difficulty in any of your, if you're making any kind of decision, and this chakra, if this chakra is balanced, you will be able to make a decision very quickly and very easily. If it's imbalanced, again, it will affect you physically and emotionally. The color of this chakra is yellow. Heart chakra. Heart chakra is the bridge between the lower 3 chakras, which are the survival chakras, and the top 3 chakras, which are the spiritual chakras. So heart chakra become the bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. The heart chakra in Sanskrit, it is called Anahata. It is the 4th chakra, and the center of the chest, it is located at the center of your chest. Anahata means unstruck, unhurt, unbeaten. It is the house for love energy and ability to give and receive it. The qualities of it is the quality where you will feel the compassion, empathy for somebody, forgiveness. When you are very strong, I know some of my friends who are very strong in this. They're very empathetic, they're very forgiving, so I know that their heart chakra is very strong. As I said, it is an energy, it is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual realms. When it is balanced, you are able to emit that loving energy. You find harmony between the people and any object you pick and choose. It's either a pets, either a people, anybody you touch, you feel that oneness, you feel that harmony between them, you feel love towards them. You are able to accept them, you are able to give something to them, you're able to receive very openly. You'll find beauty in every single detail. When it is imbalanced, again, it will impact us physically and emotionally. Of course, when you have a fight between them, that's when the hatred will come in. If it is imbalanced, you will have the hatred, you will have the frustration for that person or whoever that is, that thing is. This is how, if your heart chakra is imbalanced, it's very important to keep your heart chakra balanced. The color is green. And I did forgot to put the Bij mantra for every chakra, which I will let you know at the end. As you go up, the next come throat chakra. As the name says, it is right where our throat is, right in the middle up here. In Sanskrit, it is called Vishuddha chakra. Shuddha means pure. So it is the chakra of purity. Now, from this chakra, the throat chakra, if I go back to this picture, the throat chakra, third eye chakra, and a crown chakra, these are the chakra of spiritual realms. Once your bottom 3 chakras and the heart chakra is balanced, you start entering into the spiritual realms. So this is the entrance. It is also house for spiritual and metaphysical centers. So it is said that if, I'm sure you must have seen those Marvel series, or your kids must have seen those Marvel series, where you see that some of them have, most of those superheroes have some kind of metaphysical powers. Now, it is not, I used to think those are all dramatic, but no, it is not. Actually, metaphysical powers do exist, and no, it's nobody else, but you can have it too. You can have those metaphysical powers too, by making your throat chakra strong. It is the energy center for speech and communication. So if I jump back here to imbalanced, if it is imbalanced, if this chakra is imbalanced, you will criticize people, you will be judgmental for them, you will suppress your fear in speaking. And that's when I say, when you share your experience, at the end or whenever, so you are overcoming the fear of speaking in front of everybody, you are accepting everybody, and you're ready to speak up. I used to have a stage fears, and now I'm here presenting, in front of everybody without a hesitant. So that is where I understood that where my throat chakra was not balanced, and now it is getting better and it is balancing it. Again, if it is balanced, you are creative. You can express creatively. Also, you will start now because this throat chakra is connected to mouth, ears, tongue, neck. It is also if you have a thyroid problems, this is where, because you have an imbalanced throat chakra. Any of your allergies, I'm sure many of you go through allergies. So the reason you have allergies, pollen allergies, or any kind of thyroid or parathyroid issues, it's because your throat chakra is weak. I would say imbalance. The color of this chakra is blue. Please try to remember the color. I will try my best to tell you while I'm gonna do the meditation. So when we do the meditation, you will have to imagine these colors. You have to, when you do a meditation on chakras, it is very important to imagine those colors to start activating it. Yes. Let's move on to the next. It is a third eye chakra. It is a very important chakra. The Sanskrit name is Ajna Chakra. That means perceive or beyond wisdom. It is the sixth chakra in the body. It is right here where we put, ladies put the bindi. So that's where our third eye chakra is. It is between the brows. It is also called brows chakra many times. So brows, it's only because it is situated between the eyebrows. Now, Parvesh asked me, what does it, how would you know when your third eye chakra is active before everybody? So few of you were here. So Parvesh, this is the answer for your question. You will, it is an invisible eye that sees things. You will literally start seeing things when your eyes are closed, but you will feel, I had to literally touch my eyes one of the days. And I'm like, really, is my eyes closed? Why am I seeing things? So you get to that point where you really have to touch your eyes and in your meditation to see really is my eyes closed or not. So you
is it like having hallucination?
Huh? No.
Is it like having hallucination?
No. Hallucination is completely different. You actually start seeing, see, when I say start seeing things, I'll tell you my experience, what happened with me. I was sitting in my room and I used to see skies. I used to see the birds flying in the sky. I used to see, and the next time I again sat down, I saw literally when my eyes was closed, I was able to see everything in the house. And for a second, I got that's when I didn't had a guru. And when it happened, when I just closed my eyes and I was able to see everything, I literally took my hands and I touched it. Is my eyes closed? And I'm like, yes, I remember my eyes was closed, but then I touched it and I'm like, yeah, it is closed. And I got scared because I suddenly started seeing things. So yes, you will start seeing things that you can't see, that is up there in the physical, up there in the spiritual realms. You will be able to, I believe you'll be able to do astral travel. You'll be able to fly. You'll be able to see things that you cannot see right now because you're in the physical world. So those are something that you will experience as you go forward in meditation.
Hallucination is when you are wide awake.
Wide awake.
Those are hallucinations, not this.
This is your eyes are completely closed, but you feel as if there is such a, like Parvesh was talking, it's completely white for her. See, when your eyes are closed, it's dark, right? Now, if you close your eyes, it's dark. But when you close your eyes, and again, when you do continue meditation, once you close your eyes, you don't feel dark. You feel like there is a light here. It's completely white. So when you start seeing that light here, as if somebody has switched on the light, that's when you know it started getting active.
And subject could be anything, right? I mean, anything we can see. It could be anything. Or does it come randomly? Or it all depends on our imagination?
No, it depends on your thoughts.
Okay. Okay.
It depends on what your soul has planned for you. I know the words are a little impractical
So
right
for
now.
now, yes, everything comes randomly. Just take it that way because you don't know what soul plan is right now. So for us, it's random. Yes, that's a good word to describe that way.
Yeah. It is also the energy center. It is house for psychic ability and foresight. It is energy center for our mind because thoughts really play a role here. If it is balanced, again, your intuition is very, very strong. It is very strong. I mean, it is really strong. And you will start trusting your intuition. You will be comfortable in a chosen path. So what does that mean? When you grow in meditation, you will know what is your purpose of life is, whatever it is, it will come in your meditation. And just knowing is not enough. When you start walking on it, it is not sometimes easy, right? So when you are very confident and comfortable in a chosen path, you would know that this thing is happening. My chakra is getting balanced. It is also a harmony within ourselves. If it is imbalanced, you will be narrow-minded, inflexible, struggle with self-acceptance. And the color of this chakra is indigo. Now it has these two big petals. All right. Moving on to the last, crown chakra. Crown is right here at the head, the center of your head. In Sanskrit, it is called Sahasrara chakra. That means 1,000 petal lotus. 1,000 petals. All the 1,000 petals has to open for your crown chakra to be open. Again, it is a seventh chakra. It is at the crown of the head. It is the seat of consciousness. It is the house for unity, enlightenment, serenity, divinity. If you know the word oneness, now you will actually start feeling the oneness with every single thing out there when you hit and when your crown chakra opens up. That's when you are enlightened. It is the dispersion of pranas into 6 other chakra. Once your crown chakra is open, it never closes. Once your third eye is open, it will close if you're not taking care of it. For me, it did close. So I did experience that. But once the crown chakra opens, it never closes. The light will always come in and it will disperse. If this is open, all the 6 chakras is aligned in one line. If it is balanced, overall healthy functioning of our energy bodies. Now, what are energy bodies that we will talk in tomorrow's, which is we have 7 bodies. So this, what we feel, is not only our one body. This is not just the body. I know we are so much used to say that this is my body. It is the body, but this is only one body that we can see physically. But then there are 6 other bodies that we will talk about tomorrow. So that's why the 3 days was very important for you to understand the basic of meditation. So once all the 7 bodies or all the 6 bodies are working healthy, all your chakras are working healthy, that's because your crown chakra is balanced. If it is imbalanced, you feel lonely, you feel passive, you always feel fatigue, like you're physically you're very tired. There are more again, but I'm not going to discuss it. It is a very vast topic. We have done the 21 days only for chakra and each chakra in detail. In this 30 minutes, I had discussed the key points, but just one more thing. Now, if you see the second picture here, now in the first picture, you see that the chakras are in the front, and this is exactly how it is situated. It is located on your body. Crown chakra is not inside, it is outside. The crown chakra is above your head. It is just that you feel a pressure here. but it is really above your head. So it's most of the times it is not even called chakras. It is not counted as a chakra. Some people will say you only have 6 chakra, and then there is a sahasrara because it's like a crown. So if you see this picture, your chakras are, and Sajal, this is probably your answer to the question. I believe you had felt yesterday something in the back.
Yeah, yes.
So this because I didn't have the full picture. Never mind. So all the chakras that you see in the front is also in the back. At the same place where your throat chakra is, you see there's a throat chakra in the back. So you have front chakras and a back chakras. Now your top crown chakra. So I have to take my background off to just show you. Komal, is your background off, or let me close this? But this is the
1 minute.
or I can do it. So all the chakras are open like this. This is your spinal cord. Okay, the middle part is your spinal cord. All the chakras are open this side and this side. Okay, so front and back. The top chakra is open like this. The bottom, the root chakra, is open down. Okay, so that's what I wanted to explain. Can you all see my hand? So this is the position of your root chakra. This is the position of your crown chakra, and all the other chakras are positioned front and back, attached to your spinal cord, and that spinal cord is your Sushumna Nadi. This is the Ida, this is the Pingla Nadi, which is your left side and the right side. Your left side is the feminine, your left side is the feminine side, your right side is the masculine side. So that when both the energies, when the right side and the left side are, you know, what would I call, when they are balanced, that's when your third eye opens to understand it properly. Yeah.
Yes. So did you cover the elements too in chakras?
I actually did not, and I didn't do the Bij mantra because again, there was not much of a time. So if you want to go ahead and tell them quickly.
So the Bij mantras I usually
There is a noise.
go ahead. So the root chakra is our earth element. It gets energy from earth. Sacral chakra, which is Swadhisthana chakra, is our water element. It gets energy. So they are all connected with nature. So our body made up of 5 elements, and that's how it gets energy from the nature.
There's some kind of noise in the background.
From me.
Mhm.
I'm alone in my room. There's no one here.
Keep going.
And the Manipura chakra is the solar plexus. Is getting it's a fire element. So the fire source is the sun for us, like the biggest source of fire, gets energy from sun. Our heart chakra is our air element, and it's like basically we connect, the color is green, and we connect it with the plants because the plants are the one who gives us oxygen. So the throat chakra is our sky element, space, and it's blue color, so it gets energy from sky. Okay, and other 2 chakras are our Adhyatmic chakras. They are not connected with nature, but it's our
Divine chakra, spiritual chakra.
Yes, spiritual chakras.
Okay. Thank you, Komal, for filling it in. Yes, it was a long to talk about all the details, but if you want to do any kind of chakra meditation, please feel free to contact us. So I want to actually introduce somebody again today. We have Dr. Asha Pai, and I am very fond of her because when it is amazing that how I got connected with her again for 7 years, I would say. She was the pediatrician for my kids, and I'm sure for the Jacksonville, most of the kids, most of the kids
Absolutely.
knows it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Amita's kids are all grown up now, but see, I mean, still.
Yeah. We did her farewell celebration when she retired.
Oh, okay. I remember when she was saying that she's going the last day she was retiring. So I was very blessed when I saw for the first time when she said, Prachi, I'm going to do it, but I sleep at 10 o'clock and you start at 10 o'clock. I said, let's just come over and let's try. So what happens next? She will tell you. I am very honored, very, very honored for her to come and speak few words for us. So over
Thank
to
you,
you.
Prachi. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for having me here. It has been a wonderful journey. I've been in spiritual practice for quite some years, more than 20 years. Tried all different types of disciplines, Swamiji's, all the things. But one thing I didn't find is that oneness that we are all looking for, and also the continuity of support system and stuff. So when I saw on Facebook that Prachi and Komal had mentioned that they're going to start the 11-day program in February, I said, I wrote to Prachi and I told her, you're starting so late, but I'm going to try anyway. Because I did want some kind of accountability and some kind of help to progress in my meditation. And I'd seen, and then what happened was, when we started, I was able to sit through the meditation. I was able to sit for more than 1 hour. And then I was extremely alert after the meditation was over. And before, when I used to sleep for 8 hours, now my sleep has become 6 hours. What else? And I have not really had too much of stress or worries since I've retired. And but I still have a lot of issues like everybody else. But I've learned how it's become easier not to judge. It's been easier to let go, and it's been easier to listen to the other person, or give some attention to details. I have definitely found in this group a lot of energy. And of course, when we did the meditation on the chakras during the 21-day meditation chakras, almost every single time I could feel in every chakra the different energy levels. In the base chakra, I kind of felt the tightness. And in the sacral chakra, there was vibration and kind of rotational movement. In the Manipura chakra, there was vibrations also. Heart chakra, I felt there was a pressure on my heart. Throat chakra, I felt a choking sensation and was coughing. Even now, as soon as the meditation, in the middle of the meditation, I start coughing. The third chakra is always pounding and vibrating quite a bit. And there are a couple of times I've seen the brightness, and one time I saw the indigo color. And then, of course, the crown chakra is vibrating and painful sometimes. It's right above my head, and I feel the pain. When I do get frustrated and stuff, the gratitude journal that Komal and Prachi have asked us to do, that helped me a lot. I have changed the way I think. And I really love the support system that we get here, which many of the other disciplines I couldn't get other than the 5 days or 10 days camps that I did. I feel really happy that I'm taking the steps, and it looks like it's very promising. And I'm looking forward to this 40-day journey and the 12-week journey with Vishal Avatarji. So don't know where this will lead to me, take me, but I'm again grateful for the opportunity that has fallen in my hands. Thank you so much, Prachi.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking. Actually, 15 minutes ago, she was driving back home, and you know, I know she, when somebody just tell you to speak, it is, you have to think a lot, but it is, you know, I have seen her journey and it really gave me immense pleasure to see her. And she just told me that she doesn't know where it's leading. Oh, I know where it's leading her. It is just the, what is going on right now is just the beginning. I am feeling the difference in myself with the journey with Vishal sir have changed me completely. So I am waiting for the days, as I told Amita yesterday, I'm just waiting for these people to see the other side of the rainbow. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving the few words of wisdom. All right. So let's go ahead and we will go ahead and start the meditation, and then we will start taking the questions at the end.